Have you ever felt that nagging sense that something just isn't right with the world? That the life you're living, the choices you're making, and even the thoughts you have might not entirely be your own? What if I told you that this uneasy feeling is the faintest whisper of a deeper truth? A truth so profound that most people go their entire lives without even glimpsing it. Right now, you're living in a carefully constructed system, one so intricate and seamless that it disguises itself as normality. A system designed not to empower you, but to shape you, to control you. Think about it. The routines you follow, the beliefs you hold, the dreams you chase. How much of it is truly yours? Or has it all been carefully programmed into you by forces you don't even see? This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's not a plot from a sci-fi thriller. This is about the reality you wake up to every day. Look around you, your phone, the headlines on your screen, the conversations you overhear. All of it works together to reinforce one single idea. Stay in line, follow the rules, and don't question too much. Because questioning might lead to answers, and answers might lead to freedom. Let's take a moment to explore that freedom. Imagine for a second that you're a bird, locked in a cage so vast that you can't even see its bars. The cage is invisible, but its limits are real. You fly back and forth thinking you're free, all the while bound by walls you didn't choose and can't see. That's the reality we live in, a prison without steel, where the chains are habits, beliefs, and social rules we never thought to question. Have you ever wondered why some memories from your childhood feel hazy, like a dream? Or why technological breakthroughs seem to happen in certain areas but stagnate in others? These gaps aren't coincidences. They're part of the design. The architects of this reality have spent generations perfecting their craft, constructing layers of distraction and falsehoods to keep us occupied, busy chasing shadows on the walls of the cave. But cracks are beginning to form. Small at first, barely noticeable, but growing larger. More people are waking up to the illusion. They're starting to see that the lives they thought they were choosing were never their own. They're recognizing the patterns, the subtle ways. This system shapes our thoughts, our desires, even our identities. And here's the real kicker. The system isn't perfect. It makes mistakes. Little glitches, like a déjà vu that feels too real or a coincidence that defies logic. These are the seams of the fabric, the places where the illusion falters. Once you notice these glitches, you can't unsee them. You begin to question everything. The routines, the norms, the very nature of your existence. So let me ask you again. Have you ever felt like something isn't quite right? That sense of unease you've been ignoring, pushing aside, it's not a flaw. It's your mind trying to wake you up. It's the beginning of a journey, one that most will never take, but one that changes everything for those who do. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore what lies beyond the veil. We'll uncover the truth about the forces shaping your reality, the invisible architects pulling the strings. And most importantly, we'll begin to dismantle the walls of this invisible prison, brick by brick. The question is, are you ready to face it? Or will you turn away and retreat into the comfort of the known, the familiar? The choice is yours. But remember, once you've seen the bars, you can never forget they're there. Our lives unfold within a framework so meticulously crafted that we rarely question it. From the moment we take our first breath, the boundaries of this invisible cage begin to form around us. Unlike prisons of steel and stone, this one is built with intangible walls, beliefs, habits, societal norms, and expectations. These invisible chains shape our thoughts, guide our actions, and define our understanding of reality, all while making us believe that we are free. Think about your daily routine. You wake up to the shrill sound of an alarm, check your phone for updates, eat breakfast, and follow the same path to work. The hours tick away in meetings, tasks, and deadlines until you return home to a screen that entertains you just enough to keep you from asking bigger questions. This pattern feels natural, even comforting at times. But is it really your choice? Or are you merely following a script written long before you were born? Education is one of the first tools the system uses to mold us. From an early age, we are taught to memorize and obey rather than think critically. Children sit in rows, raise their hands to speak, and learn to follow strict schedules. These behaviors mimic those of factory workers, a legacy of an industrial era education system designed to produce compliant, efficient laborers. Creativity and curiosity are stifled in favor of conformity. By the time we graduate, we have internalized the idea that success means fitting into a predefined role, a role we rarely question. Money, too, is a cornerstone of this control structure. We trade our time, energy, and even health for pieces of paper or digital numbers in a bank account. These symbols of value govern our lives, dictating where we live, what we eat, and how we spend our time. Most people work jobs they dislike to afford things they don't truly need, all in the name of a success defined by others. The cycle is endless: work, consume, repeat. The system thrives on this pattern, ensuring that we remain too busy or too tired to step back and examine its mechanisms. Media and entertainment play their role as well, serving as the system's voice. The shows we watch, the headlines we read, and the advertisements we see are not random. They are meticulously designed to shape our perceptions of what is normal, desirable, and achievable. Media plants ideas about how we should look, what we should want, and even how we should feel. Social media in particular acts as a digital cage. We curate idealized versions of our lives for validation in the form of likes and shares, all while becoming increasingly disconnected from our true selves. Even our aspirations are programmed. Society teaches us to chase after certain milestones: a good education, a stable job, a big house, a nice car. But how many of these desires are genuinely ours? How often do we stop to ask if these goals align with who we are? The truth is that many of us are chasing dreams handed to us by the system, not ones we've chosen for ourselves. Religion and politics form another layer of control. These systems offer frameworks for understanding the world, but they also impose boundaries on thought. Communities often punish those who question or deviate from accepted norms, creating an environment where it's easier to conform than to challenge the status quo. The fear of rejection or isolation keeps many from exploring new ideas or alternative perspectives. Perhaps the most insidious aspect of this invisible prison is its ability to self-perpetuate. Unlike traditional systems of control that require external enforcement, this one operates from within. We police ourselves and each other. Those who step out of line, who question the system or choose a different path, are met with ridicule, condemnation, or ostracism. This ensures that the system continues to function smoothly, with minimal resistance. Yet the system is not infallible. It relies on our unconscious compliance, on our willingness to accept its rules without question, and herein lies its weakness. The moment we begin to notice the patterns, the routines, the societal expectations, the manufactured desires, the illusion starts to crumble. The bars of the cage become visible. Consider this. Why do we accept these patterns as unchangeable? Why do we believe that this is simply how things are? The answer is simple. We've been taught to accept the world as it is presented to us. Questioning it feels uncomfortable, even dangerous. But discomfort is the first step toward awakening. It signals that something within us recognizes the limitations of this constructed reality. Breaking free requires awareness. It demands that we look closely at our lives and question everything we've been told to accept. Why do we eat the foods we eat? Why do we measure success in terms of money or possessions? Why do we conform to routines that drain our energy and limit our potential? These questions are the cracks in the system. And once you begin to ask them, the system's grip on you begins to loosen. The cage may be invisible, but it is not impenetrable. It thrives on ignorance, apathy, and fear. By recognizing its presence, we take the first step toward freedom. The path is not easy, and the journey is not without its challenges. But the alternative, living a life dictated by unseen forces, is no longer an option. The choice is ours. Remain within the comfort of the known or step into the uncertainty of true freedom. What will you choose? As we begin to unravel the layers of control that define our lives, we inevitably encounter a deeper question: who or what is responsible for this intricate system? The architects of our reality remain elusive, their work hidden in plain sight, yet their influence can be seen in every corner of our existence. These forces are not the politicians we vote for or the corporations we critique. They operate on a plane far beyond the reach of everyday awareness, shaping not only our actions but the very framework of our thoughts and beliefs. To understand these architects, we must first acknowledge the complexity of the system they maintain. Unlike traditional forms of control, which rely on physical barriers or overt coercion, this system operates through subtlety. It manipulates perception itself, weaving a narrative so convincing that most people never question its authenticity. It's not just our governments, media, or education systems. It's the invisible hand behind them all, setting the stage for every decision we think we make independently. Quantum physics offers a glimpse into the workings of this hidden design. Scientists have discovered that particles behave differently when observed, as though reality itself is influenced by our attention. This raises profound questions. Is our reality truly objective, or is it being rendered dynamically, shaped by our focus and interactions? If so, who or what is orchestrating this process? The architects, much like the algorithms of a complex simulation, seem to construct our world in response to our actions, creating a seamless illusion of continuity. The patterns they embed in our reality are both elegant and efficient. Consider the mathematical constants found in nature, like the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio. These recurring patterns aren't random. They are the building blocks of a design meant to be both functional and pleasing to the human mind. Even the limits of our physical world, like the speed of light, feel more like parameters of a program than immutable laws of nature. They suggest a universe governed by a set of rules, meticulously crafted to sustain the illusion of autonomy while maintaining control. These architects have not only built the physical and social structures we navigate, but have also programmed the behaviors that keep us within their system. Time, for example, is one of their most effective tools. By segmenting our lives into hours, days, and years, they create a rhythm that feels natural yet locks us into a predictable cycle. We become slaves to the clock, always rushing, always waiting, yet never questioning why our lives are so rigidly structured. Human behavior is another layer of their design. The architects understand that fear and desire are powerful motivators. By keeping us in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction, they ensure we remain trapped in their system. We fear failure, rejection, and scarcity, so we work harder, consume more, and conform to societal norms. Simultaneously, we are bombarded with messages about what we should want: status, wealth, beauty, all carefully curated to keep us chasing goals that serve the system rather than ourselves. Social structures, too, bear the mark of their influence. Religion, politics, and culture act as both boundaries and reinforcements. They provide a sense of identity and belonging while subtly discouraging dissent. Questioning these structures often leads to ostracism, a powerful deterrent in a species wired for community. By embedding these layers of control into our very sense of self, the architects ensure that even the thought of breaking free feels unnatural. Yet their design is not flawless. Glitches occasionally reveal themselves, those moments when reality doesn't quite add up. Déjà vu, unexplained coincidences, or Mandela effects, where collective memory seems to contradict recorded history, hint at the seams of their construct. These anomalies, while often dismissed as quirks of the mind, offer a window into the underlying mechanisms of our reality. They remind us that the system we take for granted is not as infallible as it seems. The architect's ultimate goal remains a mystery. Are they testing us, studying us, or merely maintaining the simulation for their own purposes? Some speculate that they are higher dimensional beings or advanced artificial intelligences, while others suggest they could be future versions of ourselves, running simulations to understand their origins. Whatever their nature, their focus appears to be on control, maintaining a stable, predictable system while extracting data from our every choice and interaction. But does understanding the architect's existence change anything? For many, it may not. The system is so deeply ingrained that even recognizing its presence can feel overwhelming. However, awareness is the first step toward reclaiming autonomy. By acknowledging the patterns and questioning the rules, we begin to disrupt the architect's design. Each moment of doubt, each act of resistance, weakens their hold and strengthens our capacity to shape our own lives. The architects may control the framework of our reality, but they cannot control our awareness unless we allow it. The cracks in their system are small but significant, and through them we can glimpse the possibility of a different existence. The choice to see these cracks, to question the narrative, is ours alone. The architects may have built the cage, but only we can decide whether to remain inside it. If the architects of our reality are the invisible hands that shape our world, then our daily lives are the stage upon which their design plays out. Every thought, every habit, and every choice we make either reinforces the system or begins to dismantle it. The key to breaking free lies not in grand gestures or rebellion, but in subtle acts of awareness and deliberate change. These actions chip away at the invisible walls, revealing the true nature of the cage we inhabit and offering a glimpse of the freedom beyond. The system's greatest strength is its ability to operate unnoticed. By normalizing routines and embedding them into our subconscious, it ensures that we rarely question its rules. From the moment we wake up, we are guided through a series of automated behaviors. The alarm clock, the rush to work, the mindless scrolling on our phones. Each step feels mundane, yet each serves to reinforce a pattern of predictability. To begin escaping, we must first recognize these patterns for what they are, a script we follow without question. The first step is awareness. Imagine your life as a river flowing along a predetermined path. The current is strong, and it's easier to drift along than to resist. Awareness is the act of pausing, stepping back, and observing the flow from the riverbank. It's about questioning why you follow certain routines, believe certain ideas, or chase certain goals. Are these choices truly yours, or are they the product of programming designed to keep you in line? Awareness, however, is not enough. It must be paired with action. The system thrives on inaction, on the idea that change is too difficult, too risky, or too uncertain. But even the smallest acts of defiance can disrupt the flow. Take, for example, your daily routine. Something as simple as altering the path you take to work or turning off your phone during meals can create a ripple effect. These small changes force you to engage with your environment in new ways, breaking the cycle of automation and opening the door to conscious decision-making. Another tool for breaking free is the practice of mindfulness. The system relies on distraction to maintain control. It fills our lives with noise, constant notifications, endless content, and manufactured urgency. Mindfulness is the antidote. By focusing on the present moment, we regain control of our attention, the very resource the system seeks to exploit. Meditation, even for just a few minutes a day, can help create a mental space where you can observe your thoughts and feelings without being swept away by them. Equally important is the act of questioning. The architects have built their system on a foundation of unquestioned beliefs. These beliefs dictate how we view success, happiness, and even reality itself. Why do we value material wealth? Why do we equate productivity with worth? Why do we measure our lives against a timeline of socially prescribed milestones? By challenging these assumptions, we begin to see the cracks in the system's narrative. Yet questioning comes with a cost. The system is designed to punish dissent. Those who challenge its norms often face ridicule, rejection, or isolation. This social pressure is one of the most effective tools in the architect's arsenal, but it is also their greatest weakness. When enough people begin to question, the collective weight of their awareness becomes impossible to suppress. Change starts with individuals but grows through communities. Seek out others who are awakening, who share your desire to understand and dismantle the system. Together you can support one another in the face of resistance. The system also uses fear to maintain control. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, and fear of standing out keep us trapped in predictable patterns. But fear, like the system itself, is not invincible. It loses its power when confronted directly. By taking small, Steps toward what scares us, whether it's speaking up, trying something new, or breaking a habit. We reclaim the energy that fear drains from us. Each act of courage weakens the system's grip and strengthens our autonomy. Physical actions are as vital as mental shifts. The architects have designed a world that keeps us disconnected from our bodies and the natural world. Reconnecting. With these elements can break the system's spell. Spend time in nature, away from screens and artificial environments. Move your body in ways that feel liberating. Dance, run, or climb. These acts remind you that you are not just a mind bound by invisible chains, but a living, breathing being capable of shaping your reality. Perhaps the most powerful tool of all is creativity. The system thrives on conformity, but creativity defies it. Whether it's writing, painting, building, or cooking, creating something unique disrupts the predictable patterns the system depends on. And creativity taps into a deeper part of ourselves, one that the architects cannot fully control. It reminds us of our capacity to imagine, innovate, and reshape the world around us. Breaking free from the system is not a single act, but an ongoing process. It requires vigilance, persistence, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. The architects have built a system designed to keep us comfortable in our confinement, but comfort is not freedom. Freedom is the ability to choose consciously, to act deliberately, and to live authentically. Each small step you take toward that freedom weakens the system's hold and brings you closer to a life that is truly your own. The cage is not unbreakable, and the key lies within your grasp. The question is, will you use it? The architects of our reality have constructed a framework so intricate and seamless that breaking free often feels impossible. Yet the true power of this system lies not in its strength, but in our unconscious acceptance of it. The moment we begin to question its boundaries, its influence begins to wane. But what does freedom look like in a world where the cage is invisible? How do we navigate a reality designed to keep us within predefined limits? Freedom starts with understanding that the system's power over us is not absolute. It relies on compliance, on our willingness to follow its rules and perpetuate its cycles. This compliance is embedded in the habits, beliefs, and assumptions we inherit from birth. These invisible chains condition us to accept the world as it is, discouraging us from envisioning alternatives. True freedom, then, is not about rejecting every aspect of modern life, but about consciously choosing how we engage with it. Consider the nature of time. The system divides our lives into blocks of hours, days, and years, creating a relentless rhythm that dictates our existence. We wake, work, consume, and repeat, always rushing toward the next milestone. This structure creates the illusion of productivity and progress, yet it often leaves us feeling empty and disconnected. To break free, we must reclaim our time. This doesn't mean abandoning schedules or responsibilities, but learning to use time intentionally. Moments of stillness, reflection, and unstructured creativity disrupt the system's relentless pace, allowing us to reconnect with our authentic selves. Freedom also requires us to redefine success. The system teaches us that success is external: a high-paying job, a prestigious title, a large house, or an expensive car. But this definition is a trap. It keeps us striving for goals that, once achieved, rarely bring the fulfillment we expect. Instead, success must be reimagined as something internal: a sense of purpose, alignment, and genuine satisfaction. This shift requires courage, as it often means stepping away from societal expectations and pursuing a path that feels uniquely our own. The architects have also conditioned us to fear failure. This fear keeps us locked in safe, predictable patterns, avoiding risks that might lead to growth. Yet failure is not the enemy. It is a natural part of the process of discovery and change. Every great breakthrough, every act of innovation has been preceded by failures. By embracing failure as a teacher rather than a threat, we reclaim our power to explore, create, and evolve. The system cannot control those who are unafraid to stumble in their pursuit of freedom. Relationships, too, are a cornerstone of the system's control. Social norms dictate how we connect with others, who we associate with, and even how we express ourselves. These norms often prioritize conformity over authenticity, encouraging us to suppress our true selves to fit in. Freedom in relationships means building connections based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared growth. It means surrounding ourselves with people who challenge us to think critically, who inspire us to question, and who support our journey toward autonomy. Our relationship with technology is another area where the system's influence is pervasive. Devices designed to connect us often leave us more isolated, tethering us to screens instead of experiences. Social media algorithms shape our perceptions, guiding us toward content that reinforces existing beliefs or stirs emotional reactions. Breaking free requires setting boundaries with technology, using it as a tool rather than allowing it to use us. This might mean reducing screen time, curating our online environments, or prioritizing face-to-face interactions over digital ones. At the core of the system's control is a simple but powerful tactic: distraction. By keeping us busy, entertained, or anxious, it ensures we rarely have the mental space to reflect on deeper truths. Freedom demands that we reclaim our attention. This involves cultivating mindfulness, not in the trendy sense of productivity hacks, but as a profound practice of being present. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being dominated by them, creating a gap between stimulus and response where true choice resides. Perhaps the most transformative aspect of freedom is creativity. The system thrives on predictability, on routines and behaviors that are easy to control and replicate. Creativity, by its nature, defies this predictability. It is an act of rebellion, a declaration of individuality, and a reminder that we are not merely cogs in a machine. Through art, invention, and innovation, we reclaim our ability to shape reality rather than passively accept it. Breaking free from the system is not a destination but a journey. It is a process of continuous questioning, learning, and evolving. The architects have designed a world that feels all-encompassing, yet its boundaries are far from absolute. By recognizing the patterns of control, challenging our assumptions, and making conscious choices, we begin to dismantle the cage piece by piece. The ultimate truth is this: the system cannot control a mind that refuses to submit. It can shape our environment, influence our behaviors, and create powerful illusions, but it cannot override our capacity for awareness and choice. Freedom is not about escaping the system entirely. It may be impossible to live entirely outside its influence, but about navigating it with intention, authenticity, and a sense of purpose. Each act of defiance, no matter how small, is a step toward reclaiming the life that is truly ours to live.